So, this is an update to a list we had played towards the start of Pioneer. The last time we played this, it still had Once Upon a Time in it. So, been a hot second. So, green, black Stompy. Green Stompy, Splashing, Scrapheap Scrounger, and sometimes they play Rotting Regisaur. Has been a deck around the corners of the format for a little bit. I think the green Stompy decks in general are very good in this format. Miss Bits, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate the tier 3. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. And this build specifically is utilizing a colorless splash off of Hashep Oasis and Llanowar Wastes and some Unclaimed Territories here to cast Thought-Knot Seer and Reality Smasher with extra aggressive / disruptive threats. To bump the deck and provide a link that updates when I make changes. Hey, thanks for the extra biddy, Stacko. I'll get that added in and the link updated after we're all done today. As far as this format goes, you'll note I'm jamming 4 Thoughtseize into the sideboard just because discard spells or counter spells are the best ways, the only ways really, to interact with the inverter combo. So want to make sure we have plenty of those. So Thoughtseize plus Thought-Knot Seer plus reasonably quick clocks hopefully means we're going to be okay in those matchups. At any rate, let's go ahead and dive on into some matches here and see how it goes. Stain the Mind's really slow. I guess you could theoretically play it, but like this deck's not casting Stain till turn 3 or 4, and like their decks have counter spells and they have discard spells of their own. I think having the faster disruption is more ideal. Stain the Mind is also a card where you're like spending a card to like not actually take something out of their hand frequently. Whereas like Thoughtseize when they don't have a combo piece that takes something else still, which is nice. It wasn't actually, Sapien. We ended up, I think we only hit Inverter one more time after the first league. Pioneer Merfolk, you definitely can, Miss Bits. Thanks for the support. Well, I was about to say this hand didn't have an accelerant on one, but it's still keepable. Now it has an accelerant on one. Abzan Goose, eh? It's got a lot of play to it, Stormy. It's real sweet. So, just really solid green Stompy curve here since we drew the dark. Turn 2 Steel Leaf, turn 3 Surrak, turn 4 Ghalta. And this Surrak gives haste to something at the start of every turn 2. Hey, Trumpet. They're 4 color. Okay. Interesting. Yes, the incredibly green haste mechanic. Exactly, you understand. Hey, Cricket. Thank you for the 18 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. It was fine. We played against Ballista combo a bunch too. So like, there's a lot of people 2-card combo killing you in the format now. Theros brought multiple 2-card combo kills into the format. And they are definitely present. So one of the things too to keep in mind that we were chatting about this in Discord yesterday too, is that, oh, they're just 5-color Niv. That makes sense. Formats like Pioneer, and this is part of the reason why Modern was enjoyable even past a time where it wasn't reasonable really anymore, is formats like this that are non-rotating, even when decks are largely bad, they still aren't omnipresent as the only thing people are playing. Man, they might name Ghalta with this. Yeah, they named Ghalta. That's super unfortunate because it takes a card out of my hand. I guess the upside to that is, yeah, main deck slaughter games, sure, sign your format is healthy. Definitely not an obnoxious combo cluster. Definitely reasonable and healthy main deck slaughter games. I think I'm just attacking with everything here. I don't think I want to play an elf. This can give itself haste. Smack you for 12, down to 4. Is he like a bring to light for a sweeper here? No, I'm not saying that playing main deck slaughter games is wrong. In fact, quite the contrary. Main deck slaughter games seems quite good. My point was, in a format where playing main deck slaughter games is correct is a commentary on the format. So that was not intended to be a commentary on my opponent's card selection. It's a commentary on what that correct card selection tells us about the format. In fact, the fact that is not only good but necessary gives us insight into what is going on in this Magic the Gathering format. Yeah, it's like a main deck Rest in Peace or a main deck Pyroblast, main deck Aether Gust. These are cards that typically you see in sideboards, but when they move into being in main decks, you can know, oh, something's not right here. Something's up for this to be the correct or optimal thing to be doing. I might actually be dead here. These geese stabilize very hard. Yeah, we had like a 1-turn window to draw like a Thought-Knot Seer or a Reality Smasher. And I think at this point we've missed and we're dead. They drew an Uro. They need to draw TKS. They're gonna gain an incredible amount of life next turn. This game is over. Hey, Gendy, let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. Saffron Olive, I don't know. I haven't double checked the data personally, but usually Olive's good for posting correct data. He mentioned that the Bring to Niv deck had one of the worst win rates of any of the decks at the PTs over the weekend. I'm sure there's matchup. There were a couple of spreadsheets floating around with matchup data if you want to see the exact stats, but that wouldn't surprise me too much. The deck's kind of a pile of cards. So you think I want these Thoughtseizes to break up their sweepers and such. I think I'm going to trim Lovestruck and Rhonas to fit them in. We're going to bring the extra Great Henge as well. Yeah, I agree. I agree that the conclusions that are drawn from the information are not always ones I agree with, but looking at the actual information itself is a reasonable place to be. I think I mulligan this. It doesn't have an accelerant. It has 4 lands, and I can't cast the spell. Other than Ghalta, what's their answer to Niv? Stop it. Get some help. This isn't an answer deck. If your question when you're looking at our deck is how do we answer X, you need to understand that that's not what our deck is doing. Kill them before they play Niv, or kill them around the Niv. Or maybe occasionally Thoughtseize it or Thought-Knot Seer it before they cast it. Too often Too often, players are like, how does my aggro deck be interactive? And the answer is stop it. Your goal is not to be interactive. And decks like this, if you're someone who wants to always be asking yourself the question, how do I answer this thing? This type of deck's not for you, and that's fine. One of the reasons why Magic is that draw was incredible. One of the reasons why Magic is a great game is because there's so many different great ways to play it. What's the sideboard trophy for? Just a flexible answer against other creature decks. You can bring it in against Inverter to kill. You can bring it in against an Inverter to kill their Jace Planeswalker in response to its trigger. We are in match 1, game 2. We are down a game. We go live about 8 a.m. most mornings. It's currently 8:15. Magic's fun. I enjoy Magic. It's a good time. I think I just deployed 2 threats here. I had the green-black zombie list try yesterday. It was real mediocre. I don't think there was a meaningful reason to be playing green-black over mono-black. Can the desert make colorless? It can. It's one of the reasons why we have Eldrazi in our deck. So this gives them the option to double block to save their Teferi, but I'm kind of okay with that exchange. You could maybe make the argument... Yeah, actually, I think I messed up that turn. I think I'm supposed to play Ghalta that turn, because when they sweep the board this turn, I'm just stranded with 2 Ghaltas in my hand that are uncastable. Yeah, I messed that up. Oh, they just have a Niv. Okay. I did not watch that. Drunk Owl, no. Hey, Coast Left. Thanks for the tier 2 resub. I appreciate that. Thanks for the 8 months at that. Yeah, I don't know that we can win this game, huh? I guess I have... I guess Oasis on here maybe lets us punch through. Maybe. They have an Abrupt Decay in their hand, though, too. So, like, I don't even really have good attacks with the Steel Leaf Champion. And they also flipped the Nahiria. I think I just attack with everything, because there's a good chance they sweep the board next turn, because they have a Bring to Light. Hey, Big Stan. Thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be kind of surprised if this is better than the traditional green-black build that's been putting up results. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that, like, Reality Smasher and Friends are, like, better than the other things you can be doing in the format. Yeah, those chump blocks imply that they're about to sweep the board here, I think. Which is a good play, because, like, their life total is low, but... They have a Bring to Light in their hand, right? Why are they conceding? They have a Solar Blaze in their deck, right? I'm so confused. I'll take it, I guess, but I don't understand why they conceded. Did they board out Solar Blaze against my aggro deck? That's such a weird concession. They had 5 lands, right? Did they not have? They had 5 lands in play. Were they weren't at 1? Were they at 1? And I might need to go back. I thought they were above 1. They were at 4, right? Yeah, they were at 4. Okay. Yeah, like if people are thinking me think I'm going crazy. They're at 4. Okay, thanks. God, Twitch chat, come on. Don't make me... It's early, Twitch chat. You're making me doubt myself. This hand's great. 1, 2, 3. There's like no way they boarded out their sweeper, right? Chat always takes their life -3, so they see lethal where there is none. It's an accurate summary. Okie doke. Oh, yeah, maybe they thought Scrapheap were just going to grind them out in the long run. I don't know. It seemed premature to me, but who am I? 'Tis not mine to wonder why. Well, I mean... That's a pair of nivs. I guess I take the niv that's sometimes something else. Rough. 6/6 is a big boy. Selesnya Charm. That's a card. Alright, I think I actually take the charm here. And then next turn, I can go smash or smash. Because Nahiri can't exile anything other than my elf right now. Sure. They discarded a land that I didn't know about. So I know they have Woodland Cemetery Breeding Pool in their hand right now. Okay. I'm gonna wait for a turn, I think. Is it correct to pump the brakes for one more turn? Or do I just smash them? So if I smash them, what happens? They go eat this, jump here, take 10. The problem with attacking is that attacking lets them kill my Thought-Knot Seers, which gives them 2 draws. They get 2 draws, so it's like 3 draws versus 2 anyways. So if I attack with both of these, well, no. So the 3 counts the Nahiri. So they're getting a second draw. They're getting a second draw regardless. And they have 2 lands. They get 2 draws regardless. If I attack with everything, they get 3 draws instead of 2. I think I just pass, so I give them 1 fewer draws towards the sweeper. Yeah, I think we just pass and sweat bullets. 2 bricks in their hand, they get a draw and a rummage. Please don't find anything good at the rummage sale. Please don't find anything good at the rummage sale. Okay. Don't do it. Don't do it. Have a heart. Pump up, the bump up, the wump up, the jam. Pump up, the bump up, the wump up, the jam. Do 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 do. Do 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 boo 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 do 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 do. Alright, base is the place. Figure it out. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray! Worth noting, Thought-Knot Seer was very good there, huh? Thought-Knot Seer provided disruption that we needed to win that game. CJNJ, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Math meat blocker. How do we answer Div Visit? Big dumb dinos. Bum 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 bum. Why is Ghalta so large, but their arms are so small? Poor Ghalta. Little bitty stumpy arms. This hand is great. Buy its stuff. 1, 2, 3, and a turn for Smasher. Beaten up you. Oh no, don't seize my thoughts. Stop it. Bad blue-black inverter player. Alright, well, at least we can still Heart's Desire on one. The heart wants what the heart wants, chat. Yay! Discard spells! Feels magic, man. Maybe the printing of Agonizing Remorse is them setting up to ban this card in this format. Maybe they're gonna move away. Maybe they're gonna move away from 1 mana discard spells. That's true. Can't Thoughtseize this one anymore. So, like, here's the thing, though, Polly. The people talking about, like, Dig or even Thoughtseize is the thing to keep the Inverter deck in check. Like, you should go watch the set we played with Inverter yesterday with the list that finished in the top 4. The Devotion Inverter build didn't play Dig and only had 2 Thoughtseizes in the board. Like... And it was still very good. The only matches we lost with it were mirror matches that I made mistakes in. Honestly, and this is something we talked about when they banned Splinter Twin in Modern 2. If they want to keep Inverter combo playable, this is the card they should ban. This is the card that should be banned. If you make them combo with the Jace Planeswalker, they can't combo through Planeswalker removal, which puts a real risk into their combo. I think that would be an appropriate decision in my opinion. If they wanted to not ban Inverter, I think this card would be fine to ban. I think if you think the combo, it also makes the combo 8 mana, which means the ability for them to combo you out of nowhere gets a lot more difficult. I think we lead on Rhonas here, just because even if they kill Steel Leaf Champion, I can GM Lovestruck Beast after and still attack with Rhonas. This card needs a creature with power 4 or greater in play as an additional threat to be able to attack or block. Opponent has nothing and died. Excellent. Discard spell, concede. You love to see it, chat. You love to see it. Alright, so I think Rhonas is actually pretty bad. Against a bunch of spot removal and discard spells, this card excels in matchups where are dominated by creature combat. I think this might be a trophy matchup because it can kill Jace. It also, like, killing their 6/6 so we can attack through it seems important. Is it crazy to cut the Ghaltas? I feel like it's not crazy to cut the Ghaltas. Maybe Scrounger isn't amazing and I leave 2 Ghaltas in. So I'm not really interested in grinding in this matchup, right? Leave a couple in for curve purposes. Let's do this. No, I don't think so, Polly. Henge is for matchups where, like, we think we're going to go long, and I think our goal is to explicitly, like, not go long here. So this hand's obviously missing a black source, but I think it's keepable. We have Elf Beast, Surrak, Mutavault. Could hopefully draw a black source at some point. Opponent checking out some of their options here. Which of the cards in my hand would you like to Thought Erasure, opponent? Wow, it was a little fatal. Pack Rat? Yeah. So again, discard a card to make their Pack Rat bigger. Pack Rat was a thing in the sideboard of a number of these decks. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think it's a fine sideboard plan to diversify threats against decks that are like playing Disruption against the Inverter deck, but I'm not sure that it's really an ideal plan for them to be pivoting to against our deck full of giant monsters. All right, if we draw a black source here, we might be able to get them. And again, like, this is the strength of this card, right? Probably just dead next turn. Our mana, unfortunately, catching up with us a little bit. Also just like a 6/6. They have 2 cards in their deck now. So both Jace and Thassa's Oracle win the game for them. If they didn't have 2 of those cards, Thoughtseize could have potentially been game winning for us. I think my hand was a fine keep. Just, you know, sometimes you die in turn 5 in this format. So that Jace lets them plus, target themselves, then win the game. Go ahead and submit. Pretty happy with how I sideboarded. Hope to run a little bit better this game. Mulligan here. No black source for the Thoughtseize. No accelerant. No accelerant, but a black source for the Thoughtseize, so very keepable. Think I bottom Scrounger here. Could go either way on that. I'm gonna Thoughtseize to start so they don't Thoughtseize my Thoughtseize. Yo, dog. And they don't have a turn 1 to land for their discard spell, so I'm just going to take their inverter. We can send this on an adventure before they get to Thoughtseize it. And I don't know the Hunaks. I thought the purpose of them moving to unscheduled ban list updates was meaning they were going to no longer have things like have happened recently where you have a deck like Inverter pop up and take over. Thought they were going to be more proactive about it. But apparently the idea is that we're still going to have to like wallow through some of them. Another thing too is, again, like, Wizards has kind of showed us time and time again they like to be hands-off with a lot of these types of things. So the things that, like, you're saying are mistakes, I think they see as, like, features or normal process. So, like, I think you could definitely advocate that, like, their normal process seems less than ideal to a lot of us on the outside. But we don't know. We don't have access to all the information they're making their decisions with. Yeah, we just don't know, is largely the answer. Play this pre-combat so they can't just drown my 1/1 and stop the Lovestruck Beast from attacking. Their hand right now is Oracle, Fetid Pools, Island, Drown in the Lock. One card we don't know. Luckily, Lovestruck Beast is a little bit too small to drown in the lock currently. A little bit too big to drown in the lock. Buy a Crucible of Worlds for $100. What's that in reference to, JMP? That's not really true, Symbol. So, like, it had its first good showing at a tournament at the PT weekend this past weekend because there weren't other tournaments going on. But, like, the deck was almost assuredly, like, it existed outside of that tournament weekend. Like, there were people playing the Inverter deck on Magic Online before that. Pretty sure we want to take Jace out of play here. So they have Thassa's Oracle, then 3 cards we don't know at this point. Hoping to draw an untapped land next turn so we get a little smashy. I mean, to be fair, Mana Symbol, there were a number of successful Heliod combo decks as well. They're just definitely not as good as the inverter decks because they're not as resilient to disruption. I mean, another important thing to remember when people talk about metrics surrounding things like that is you can't just look at top 8s of split format events. So, like, the PTs are half draft, which is relevant. Gotta keep that in mind. Okie doke. If we get to untap and Ghalta them next turn, probably game winning. That's a good line. From a making players show a variety of MTG skills, limited's definitely good. From a this is interesting to watch perspective, it's really not. I wish that they would explore double constructed format PTs like SCG does for their invitationals, like a Pioneer Standard Pro Tour or a Pioneer Modern Pro Tour or a Modern Standard Pro Tour. I think the multiple formats is good. I think including limited is bad. Neat, JMP. Yeah, the SCG PC's always been triple constructed format. All right, well, we're 2-0. Beating Bring to Niv and beating Blue-Black Inverter. Like I've said, I think these green Stompy decks are still some of the best decks in the format. There are a number of people that were like, well, they didn't put up a ton of results, but again, the split format kind of throws that off a bit. Inverter was also the new hot thing. Are you talking about the Esper list we're going to play today? Because I've already imported it and made changes myself, Carn Daddy. So when we get to it, you can feel free to make specific suggestions after you've seen what I've made changes. But if I've already got it in the stream title, that means I've already loaded it up and done a once-over for it myself. Yeah, I don't, I'm not into limited myself, so I don't really watch limited content, but the feedback surrounding Ben S has been pretty unanimously positive. There's a reason why he was one of the MPL folks whose stream took off. The biggest problem with limited from a coverage perspective is that the interesting part of limited lasts 45 minutes and the kind of boring part of limited lasts 3 hours. So the ratio there is not ideal. Ben S was one of the MPL folks who turned their MPL contract into a successful stream. He's actually part of F2K now too. Does Unclaimed Territory make sense, given it only makes colored mana for creatures and our entire black splashes? So, the thing you don't understand about Unclaimed Territory, this is a green colorless dual land. This is not a green-black dual land. This is a land that makes Wingding mana for Reality Smasher and Thought-Knot Seer. And it still casts Llanowar Elves and Steel Leaf Champion. So, you put the Unclaimed Territories on Elf, and it's an Elf/Eldrazi dual land. Correct, yes. Also doesn't hurt us. It's relevant a lot of the time. Myoptic, thanks for the 4 months. You know what? You know what's funny, too? The fact that they're doing a paper draft and then arena games at the World Championships. So if they're playing the games on Arena, why aren't they just drafting on Magic Online? Why aren't they doing the draft on Moto? They have computers there, obviously, right? Like, if they didn't have computers there, they couldn't be playing Arena. So, like, why are they doing a paper draft instead of doing a digital draft where people could easily see the cards? From my understanding, it was confirmed that they'll be doing a paper draft. I guess the question is it better than Llanowar Wastes? Well, I'm gonna give you a 10-minute break so you can look at my deck list before you ask questions. They only want to showcase the Premier client. Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not showcasing the Premier client. This is the Premier client. All right, what am I doing here, though? So they probably have a counterspell, right? I think I'm going to lead on Heart's Desire. You know, it could honestly be that they don't want Moto to overshadow Magic Arena. Do Amazon Prime subscribers get to bump decks? They do not. So details on my full deck queue system can be found here. Amazon Prime subscribers, just like tier 1 subs, get to add decks at a lower rate. So any subscriber of any level can add a deck for $10 for historic or standard. Oh, we are playing against Andrew Cuneo. I missed that. Sweet. This is some valuable information. Thought-Knot Seer, looking good here. Getting to take this Supreme Verdict before it messes our day up. They're cycling the charm, so their plan is to just try and draw another sweeper, I suppose. Alright, who's got 2 thumbs and scoops to settle the wreckage? This guy right here. Read. Okay, so since they... I think I only attack with these 3 at this point, because I don't want to let them use their mana to cast Seal Away. Oh, I tapped wrong, right? That's fine, I'm not attacking this turn. Go. Probably dead. This is very likely to find a sweeper. Can't do Varchild. Do you want me to just, I've done this before. I'm gonna put, let me know if you'd like to bump something else with the donation for that one. It definitely can, Coast Lab. Thanks for keeping me around. Why did they miss on a sweeper in 7 cards? Maybe they found Settle the Wreckage? Wow, they bottomed, and they missed a land drop too. It's kind of gross. Alright, well, my deck really can't beat Settle the Wreckage, and I definitely can't beat Settle and Seal Away, so, you know, ship it. Okay, everything went better than expected. See if they have another Seal Away or an Azorius Charm here. Yeah, this is not too surprising. Because, like, they did miss on the sweeper, so, like, they couldn't have been all blanks, right? Because they didn't have a land drop either. So, not just dead, but in a medium spot. Sure. To set a low bar caker, I would prefer Buttigieg to Joe Biden. They definitely can, Mono. Huh? So they get to make a 1/1 here. Yeah. Biden being in 4th was a happy surprise. Iowa caucus has a Watsy feel to it. Yeah, right? This is... Why couldn't they have just been lucky? Why couldn't they have just been less unlucky and drawn the sweeper? So that way I could concede? I mean, like, Trump versus Biden is Biden, no questions asked, but I would greatly prefer if I didn't feel obligated to vote for Biden in a general election. Just swimming upstream here. I really hope it was the death knell for Biden's campaign. That would please me. That wasn't the reality smasher I wanted for Christmas. Alright, all in on ignoring the planeswalkers. Okay, they're going to 1. Yeah, I would assume the same. If Biden's going to drop, I wouldn't expect him to drop until after South Carolina. Is this the sweeper? Is this it? Did they finally find it? Wow, they are so unlucky. Actually just the unluckiest blue-white control player ever. There's no way they're not running 4 verdicts, right? Oh wait, we took one of their verdicts. Okay, so they're not finding their other 3 verdicts, right? We did TKS a verdict earlier. I forgot about that. They did have a verdict. Gross horror. Did they top with opt? They bottomed with opt. Slag you. Thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate sending your prime back this way again. Good golly. Sometimes you clench and it works, chat. Sometimes you clench and it works. Alright, Thoughtseize is in. Extra Great Henge in. Rhonas is not stellar against removal spells. I think that's pretty clean, huh? I like it. What do we think? It's almost like I had a plan. I think I like it. Just like we drew it up, chat. Perfect. Thoughtseize on 1, Heart's Desire, Thoughtseize on 2, Lovestruck Beast on 3. Huh? Just gonna take their dig. Are we having fun yet, opponent? I'm having fun. Why not play around censor there? Because I don't want to take a censor. I don't care. Because if they censor me, I don't lose 2 life. Wow, that's rude. Am I supposed to board this out here? Maybe I'm supposed to board this out here. Although that's a good pickup. I think I play this. Look, I have words again. Blah, blah. Thank you for the half a year. Welcome back. I think I go tapped land pass here, and then next turn go Thoughtseize into Great Henge. They drew a dig. That's unfortunate. Hey, BB Trombone. Thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hopefully they don't kill this in response. That's a great draw. I would like your Aether Gust. We go land, Great Henge, Scrapheap, draw a card. I guess this isn't that great just because Teferi Time Raveler's sitting there. Yep. So they'll get to dig it into turn. And we're probably mostly done from here. They're still at 20. The road to Shillionaire begins. Excellent. Beverly Hills. That's where I want to be. Just shilling. Just shilling. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. So I have 7 total mana. This costs 7. I think I'd rather Thought-Knot Seer first though. If they have a counterspell, they'll probably counterspell this. Being syncopated. But for the Iron Maiden Classic run for the shills, excellent. It's a little unfortunate. So they have Verdict, and then a couple of cards I don't know. This costs 7 at the moment, so can't deploy it. Shillionaire is one of the best idle games I've played. It's a good one. Put a double bottom with their castle, eh? Do we scoop to 5 mana Teferi? Yeah, almost assuredly. Get in there, little Scrapheap. I believe in you. Poor little Scrapheap. They top something. That doesn't bode well for a Great Henge. That's super unfortunate. Hey, it's good enough. Good enough for me. Good. Gonna call that good enough. It's garbage time. We don't have to go home, but we can't play here. Nah, I think the Lovestruck Beast is worth keeping. This hand doesn't have Wingding mana. Alright, chat, I'm gonna need you to believe, chat. If we don't draw Wingding mana, it's chat's fault. I would like the record to reflect. I mean, I'm not happy with the fact that we don't have complete and full Iowa results by now. It's not ideal that we don't have ranked choice voting in every Democratic primary across the country. It's important. Thank you. I appreciate you, chat. I knew you wouldn't let me down. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around or desert you. Would like to attack for 3. So we're attacking first because they have removal spells like this. So this lets us play the land and stick this post-combat. I think it's just dig. So next turn we'll go smash you for 5, play Scrapheap, play Elf. The thing I don't understand is, like, why do we care about Iowa? And, like, why do we let Iowa be first? Why doesn't, like, a bigger state like California or someone that has more people and thus more delegates that we actually care more about, like, change their primary date to not go ahead of Iowa or at least go alongside it? It's so weird to me that random states are, like, out ahead of everybody else. Iowa has nothing else. They'd push theirs back in response. That's so nonsense. Like, also, as someone who doesn't pay attention, is Iowa a swing state in the general election? Or are they generally Republican? Offhand, are they a swing state? Not really. They voted Obama in 08? Okay. Okay, sure. So I think that qualifies as swing, right? It was blue 2 years and red the next. Alright, that's gonna be all she wrote. This game's not gonna end for like 6 more turns. And by 6, I mean 60 more turns, but we can no longer win. Yeah, that makes it even more strange to me why we care. Like, why do we care about the results of a state that's very unlikely to vote Democrat in 2016 anyways, right? Or 2020 anyways? Like, if we don't consider the way it works, our candidates to be competitive there, so like, why do we pump all this ad money for candidates into a state that ultimately doesn't really matter? Eric Dared, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. The whole system is just like loud and nonsense. Yes, it's also far from representative of the country as a whole. From my understanding, the TLDR of what happened in Iowa is the boomers that were in charge of running the caucuses had some technology issues. That's my understanding from the news articles that I've read. To the point where all the caucuses were done Monday night and it's Wednesday morning and they still don't know the results. Sure, but from a strategic perspective, German Space Ace, if they're not going to have an impact on the Democratic candidate in the general election, like pumping all of this primary money into the state seems like a giant waste. Like, obviously, people everywhere matter, and like, everyone in the country is important, and like, I want them all to have a good quality of living and all of that jazz. But from a strategical standpoint, if you don't expect that state to be competitive in the general election, from a tactical resource allotment perspective, it doesn't feel like it makes a lot of sense to invest so many resources there during primaries. I don't know. I also don't really understand it all, so maybe that's just nonsense. Yep, he's dead, Jim. All right. I don't think I play around censor here, just because they get to cycle it anyways, and like, they could just censor my Smasher. Okay, well then, that happened. Looking for a Llanowar Elves here. That'll also do. The DNC can't control when states at primary. They do a lot more delegates to state later in the cycle to help counterbalance the early states outside is important. So that's interesting to know. Later states get more delegates. So that was one of my thoughts too, PNF Hunter, and a lot of states have what are called open primaries. So like, you could theoretically be somewhat a Republican who's planning to vote for Trump in the general, who just like shows up to a Democratic primary and like votes for the candidate that you think Trump has the best chance of beating. Like that could technically be a thing too. The whole process is real strange. As someone who lives here and mostly understands it, it's strange. All right, so Thoughtseizes in against this. I think I boarded in a couple of trophies last time. I think that makes sense again. You can kill Jason response. You can also kill inverters that would otherwise be blocking you. I think Ghalta's a little bit slow here. Little bit of disruption. A lot of beatdowns here. This hand's fine. Not amazing, but fine. It's got 2 1/1s for the Lovestruck Beast at least. That's a good draw. That's ridiculous. That's the sad reality we live in. So this is actually something that's really important to note. It looks appealing to take the Thoughtseize Oracle here, but Inverter puts the Thoughtseize Oracle back into their deck. So you never want to take the Oracle, you always want to take the Inverter. Because if you take the Oracle, you've effectively turned them into a 1-card combo by putting their other card that wins the game into their graveyard, and then this puts it back into their deck. I did know there were other candidates running against Trump in the Republican primary, but I also know that the GOP decided not to hold primaries in a number of states. Any state where Trump stood a chance of losing the primary sounds about right. So they're gonna get to censor the first Lovestruck Beast I cast, but again, like, censor's a card where it's often right to just play into it, because when you don't play into it, they just get to cycle it, and then you've lost tempo, and they're not really losing anything. As someone who would prefer Bernie, Buttigieg has run a good campaign so far. He has done things that I would quantify as being a good politician. I don't want a good politician to get the nomination. I want someone who's going to bring about progressive change, and that's likely not Pete. But he has allotted his spending in ways that make sense to give him the best chance to win. He's also a very good public speaker. He's very good at relaying messages that people want to hear. So again, we ran into the censor, because if we don't run into the censor, it's gonna cycle anyways. Took the trophy. It makes sense. It's kind of our thing to like. This is the thing that's not like the others. All right, let's draw some lands, huh, chat? Get a little smashy in here. I'd appreciate not spreading messages like that in my spaces, E-Teach War. When you're spreading conspiracy theories about the DNC, you're helping Russia and you're helping Trump. So if you have actual facts of things that have definitely happened, feel free to share actual facts. Let's not partake in nonsense conspiracy theories. Please and thank you. Things like that are intended to make people feel hopeless and make them feel like their vote doesn't matter. And people feeling like their vote doesn't matter is good for the GOP. I guess we take the thing that's not like the others. To smack them for... Actually, I'd rather just play the Scrapheap here, right? Than attack with Mutavault. We'll hope to draw some lands. GBC stands for Game Boy Color. This is my first video game system as a child. We played a lot of Pokemon Blue and Yellow. Correct, Polly. One of the things that's important to understand about how our world works in 2020 is that other countries that are looking to disrupt our election, it's very easy to think that only pro-Republican things on platforms like Twitter are being amplified by bots and other countries, but it's actually things on both sides get amplified by other countries because their goal in large part is to make people feel hostile towards other people in their country and to create divide. That's the goal, to make people angry and feel like the things that they can do don't matter. You do matter. Your vote counts. Make sure you do it. Land. Land. I mean, it's like land adjacent, right? It's almost like a fast land. Not quite. We're trading here, but this really isn't a big deal, because, like, I've got 2 Lovestruck Beasts in my bin. But they can't just keep taking this hit over and over again. But it's got 1 more Oracle in their hand, and then 2 cards we don't know. Now 3 once they draw. This is kind of scrying. It's kind of scrying. All right, so we're dead. That's fun. It's fun match, fun game, fun game. We have a third game, right? No, the 1/1s are important. Stop it, y'all are silly. Can this deck not play Elf? You're crazy. People really just don't understand how busted this card is, do they? Can we play something other than Llanowar Elves? No, you play 8 of the busted card. Even not considering Lovestruck Beast, and like not considering the fact that we have a bunch of 3s, like playing 2 lands on turn 1 is really, really good. It's the best thing green is doing in this format. It's like, questions like that remind me of the fact that, like, when Once Upon a Time was legal, there were people who weren't registering 4 copies of it. Like, it's a good reminder that just because someone's a good Magic player doesn't mean they're a good deck builder. Like, there were a lot of people that I respect as very, very good Magic players who were, like, playing decks with, like, 2 and 3 Once Upon a Time in it. And it was just like, what is wrong with you people? Do you not understand why this card is absurd and should just be deleted from Magic? People just way undervalue the consistency. Could we play this Infinity deck without Moxel? Well, yeah, it's a similar question, honestly. This hand's great. Just looking to draw a land on the first couple turns. Yeah, Twitter being a very small percentage of the population is also a very good observation. Like, even with regards to, like, what I do here for work, right? Like, I'm much happier using Twitter when anytime I read something that annoys me or makes me angry, instead of responding to it and feeding into those feelings, you just right click and block the person. It's like really a much healthier way to approach it. Life is short. Social media is optional. Remove the parts of it that make you feel less than happy. We'll do Chevry. You can just make 2 1/1s here. Maybe it's right to play a 5/5. That's admirable. Thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Make sure you have a sword in here, by the way. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday wherever you're at in the world. Again, like, feels bad to run into Censor, but I think it's generally just correct to run into Censor. Because, like, if you don't run into it, it either catches something later or it just cycles. Life is short and Llanowar Elves is good. Those are both so very true statements. Caesar, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. You do have mod powers. Mod powers. Do. Would it be better to just elf here though? No, I don't think so. I think I want to make them respond to my cards. Have a good one, Miss Bits. That's Admiral. I'm gonna blank on your last name. I think it's Nathan, right? They've done that's Admiral. They've done commentary for a variety of stuff. I believe a couple of Magic things too, right? Number of Hearthstone things as well, and they stream Magic on occasion on their Twitch channel there. If you want another good streamer to watch on occasion, feel free to click on their username and give them a follow. See when they're online. TKS has actually been really good. To the surprise of you. Yeah, I'm just gonna take your 6/6 away. Think there will ever be a critical mass of mods? Almost assuredly. Maybe not though. I mean, not everybody subs to a channel for forever too, right? There are people who sub for a bit and then go off and do other things. Oh, that's right. You top-8'd the Seattle Grand Prix, one of the West Coast ones, if I recall correctly. Portland, yep. As someone who lives in Cornlandia, all of the left coast is mostly the same. I just take their Oracle here, right? I think I just take their Oracle. Do I care about Cry? I guess if I take Cry, they can't really... If I take Cry, I can likely Smasher them next turn. But if they Cry me, I still have 10 power in play, right? That's close. I'm gonna take the Oracle, I think, and just force them to Cry. I'm gonna kill Jace and put them to 13. Because, like, even if they Cry next turn, I can go fire up Mutavault, crack you for 10, play Elf on my next turn, and still be in a pretty good spot. Force them to Cry, the best play in Magic. It is. Forcing them to Cry is a strong play. Feels magic, man. Feels magic, man. Driving in my squid beep beep. Hope no one wrecks into me. Dear opponent, please don't kill me. Kind of surprised they didn't take one more damage, and then... Kind of surprised they didn't take one more damage, but I guess if they take one more, Mutavault's lethal. I did -3 Car, and they were really good. You know? So, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the colorless cards in this deck, but Thought-Knot Seer's just... I mean, this card's just it's just a good card, right? This card's felt genuinely very good in the sets that we've played. Having that scotch of disruption against the inverter deck's been really good both times we've played it. Having 8 discard spells post board has been very reasonable. Smasher's been kind of whatever. I could kind of take or leave Reality Smasher, I feel, but TKS has been quite excellent. We are hitting into the 5th match here. This will be our last round of Pioneer for the morning. We'll be back again with more Pioneer tomorrow. We are currently 3-1. We've beaten Inverter twice. We lost to Andrew Cuneo playing blue-white control. Sure. I'm excited to keep this triple pain land hand and see a basic mountain on one on the other side of the table. That's how this works. You keep a hand like this, and they're just like, Mountain Soul Scar Mage, go. And you're just like, oh no. Shifting Triceratops. Yeah, that card could maybe be playable. I think that card's probably Pioneer playable. Just a basic Plains, God bless. This is probably kind of tough for us. The Black Splash should be useful here. Fatal Push and Trophy will be very good post-board. I bet game 1 we're going to be a bit of a dog here, though. I think I just lead on a 5-5 now. I guess if I went Elf Scrounger there, I could play Reality Smasher next turn. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Yeah. It's a big boy, chat. It's a big boy. All right, I'm gonna go to the post-board game. Pretty sure Thoughtseize is good here too. The opponent's deck tends to be kind of low threat density, so being able to take a threat before they play it seems ideal. This is not a matchup where Scrapheap Scounger's grindy nature is going to be useful, so let's trim that. I agree. Sentinel's Eyes has been very impressive for me in Standard too. Really liked it there. If I trim Smusher, he's a little bit small in this matchup. Yeah, I think that's the last cut. So Disruption and then our cheaper threats here. This is a matchup where Rhonas can really shine just because he's Death Touch and Indestructible, so he's like a pseudo removal spell. So this card's not very good against decks with a lot of disruption and spot removal in it, but it's stellar in creature-based matchups where boards are getting gummed up. Is Rex Sage reasonable? Yeah, maybe I should have Rex Sage in my deck. I could see that. This is my one land out of 23 that doesn't make green mana. I think this is still a keep though. It's got like turn 1 elf and it's got the Rhonas in it. I think Rhonas with Lovestruck Beast puts it into the range of keepable. Perfect. And this here, the Unclaimed Territories always go on elf in this deck. Unclaimed Territory is essentially a elf/wingding dual land to get us up to 12 colorless sources so we can play Thought-Knot Seer consistently. Pretty happy that we let on that. Is a Life's Bounty here. This is another card out of Theros that's been really impressive for me. This really feels like a standard playable Mother of Runes. Saram draws them cards every time they play an aura or vehicle spell. Our lack of a black source here catching up with us a little. I mean, it gets to play 4 Thoughtseizes, right, Brad? Like, four discard spells, maybe they could play Agonizing Remorse too, plus a relatively fast clock. Probably isn't like the Stone Cold Worst against combo. The fact that this is white is actually super relevant here, because it lets us, what's the word I'm searching for? It lets us block when they try to give pro green. I think we're just keeping this on defense. I'm going to smack them with Lovestruck Beast here again. They can't just chump block because I have Rhonas. This is only a 4/4 currently, so it can't quite first strike me down. Oh, they're about to blessing us. This card's also been very good in Standard. Yeah. So it's no point in pumping this, because if they pump it, or if I pump it, their thing has first strike. So when Blessing is bad, it's real bad. It's like one of those cards, when it's good, it's great, but when it's bad, it's pretty close to unplayable. One of those, like, 2 or 10 style cards. Okay, I mean, that gives us Fatal Push eventually, but they also just, like, have 2 life bounties in play. I feel like we're pretty unlikely to win from here. Not just dead, though. We'll see how it goes. If they keep drawing creatures and lands, we have a shot. But, like, as soon as they chain into a couple of good auras, Saram's likely going to kill us. Yeah, I do have a bunch of Ghaltas in my deck currently. It's a good call. Do we start getting aggressive with Rhonas? I don't think so. They just have so many jump blockers, and if I attack with fair. Touche, salesman. Touche. If I start attacking with this, they get to start attacking me with their 5/5. And Rhonas can't give himself trample, is the issue. So we might be getting into a position where we fatal push their thing end of turn, and then, like, on our turn we attack with everything, and Rhonas can pump some of our stuff up to get through. Because Rhonas gives 2 attack and trample. I currently have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So I can +2 and trample 2 of my things. So they'll like first strike down this, and we'll 2-0 trample the other 2. But that's still only, 7, 13 total, and they're a nice healthy 20. This is clever. So they're life linking that, so that way they can throw it. Why? Okay. There's, like, trying to draw a couple cards. Okay. I don't know why they would. Well, they wanted to throw it away, I guess. I suppose, for some reason. Do I push this so I can untap and draw another removal spell? I think that's the play, right? Yeah, because I only have... If I had 2 black, I think we'd wait. But I want to be able to, like, cast another Fatal Push or an Assassin's Trophy if we draw them next turn. Alright, I think I'm going to start attacking with Rhonas. Because I have chump blocks for a little bit here. Like, I think it's correct to, like, trade one of my chump blockers for one of their chump blockers is basically what I'm doing here. That's, it's mostly jewelry, huh? Got a lot of bling around the neck. Survey says... Yep. Removal spell there is exactly what we need to break this game open. Okay, get to get a third game. Yeah, the black splash has been great. The jury is out for me as to whether or not this is fully worth it, but I definitely think if you're playing green Stompy right now, you should be leveraging the black splash. Do we want the Rex Sage? I guess the Rex Sage kills their protection creature too, huh? Which is like pretty relevant. What do I want to cut here? Yeah, kills Ephemia. Need 2 trims. How greedy is it to cut a land on the draw? Greedy, but also right? Yeah, Surrak was less than impressive. The Thought-Knots were very good in the inverter matchup, and good in the blue-white control matchup. I'm excited to stumble and die. Now, one thing that is worth noting, while our hand here is very good and very linear, the opponent's deck is a better linear deck than we are. So there is a chance that if we're both just racing, they're going to outrace us. All right, so now I have to make a decision. I think it's correct to Thoughtseize on one. I think it's correct to Thoughtseize on one, because like if they have just like a Saram, I want to take that. You think I just take the Hateful Eidolon? And like our turn 2 is double elf, then our turn 3 is like elf plus steel leaf. They also don't have another white source at the moment. So like they're gonna be relatively slow to get everything deployed. Ethereal Armor, it's a good draw. Ethereal Armor's gonna have like +4 here now. And this is what I was talking about, their linear plan versus ours. Like, we're just in a lot of trouble here. Even if I find a removal spell, they get to protect this. But I suppose if I find a removal spell, they lose 2 enchantments and this gets smaller. So that's meaningful. Yep. Close game. I think I would be surprised if we're not a bit of a dog there. The way my sideboard is currently constructed definitely doesn't have a ton of stellar things for that matchup. So thoughts on what we did here overall. Thought-Knot Seer was just very good in a lot of spots. Just like having that disruption in the main felt very reasonable. Reality Smasher was kind of middling. I feel like I could take or leave this card. The idea of just like play the Thoughtseize in the main deck is probably not unreasonable. Like maybe you just like cut these and like don't play this Great Henge main and get like some number of these into the main, maybe even just all of them. Mana Reshaper, maybe. So we only have 12 colorless lands. So like trying to play colorless spells earlier can be a little bit more challenging. By Thought-Knot Seer never being cast before turn 3, you get like extra shots at it. So something like this, I don't necessarily know what you want to do for the sideboard. If decks like what we just played against are going to be things people are going to be playing, you could perhaps play more spot removal. Legion's End could be a card worth considering in the sideboard because the blue-red scissors decks have a lot of cards that Legion's End is good against. Legion's End's also good against the black aggro decks and stuff like that. So a lot of different details you can tune here, but I definitely think the black splash in green Stompy is probably ideal. I think the Thought-Knot Seer splash is worth exploring. It's something I'd consider if I was working on this archetype some more, but Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Trophy, definitely all great. All right, what are we doing? We're going to roll on into some Historic on Magic Arena, followed up by a bunch of Standard, doing a longer stream today. I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I get everything set up to switch over to the next deck. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere. Thoughts on Questing Beast? I think Questing Beast